Hey everyone, welcome to episode 3 of Fearless Power Podcast. Fearless Power Podcast. Does my brain hurt you when I do that?
No.
Today we're going to talk about work life and home life balance. And for us, we're both moms, so our home life is mom life too as well.
Yep.
And catering to our household. So we're going to jump right into that. And Lou, tell us about your home life, your kids. How old are they?
I have 3 boys. I have a 12, a 10, and a 4. And it's all boy energy, 24/7.
Oh boy, you're outnumbered.
Totally outnumbered. I even got a
Do you have
dog.
a dog.
I got a female dog just to but it doesn't really, she doesn't balance it out much. I have 2 dogs too, but one is a male and then I have a female dog. I have to say, like, my work balance starts on Monday. That's when I kind of get my house in order.
Yeah.
And like, if my house is not in order, like I'm like just scrambling to just get through the whole week. I do have a little help. I have a cleaning person that comes and helps me once a week, but I'm cleaning with her. So it's not like I just let it go and I'm like, I'm gonna go to the gym. Instead, no, I'm there like while she's doing this, I'm cleaning the fridge.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a full shift. So it starts out with like a whole other work, making sure like my house is fully staffed, like ready to go for the week. No laundry, no this, no that. We got the snacks.
We got all that. Caught up.
Oh, completely caught up before I even start Tuesday. So I work Tuesday. Well, now my original schedule was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, off Friday, and work Saturday. For my entire career, I've been working every Saturday. At some point, I was switching to every other Saturday. Yeah. But I feel like the energy in the salon sometimes without an owner on the Saturday is completely different. Yeah. And because this is like my baby and it's so fresh, I feel
Saturday's a busy day.
I have to be here every day. Yeah. I have to be every day. So I already know that like I'm working 7 days a week. Yeah. 5 days behind the chair, but like the other 2, it's social media, it's this and that.
The background.
Finding the balance with the family is really hard. I feel like right now it's my 4th salon. Yeah. And I feel like I'm constantly resetting because I started out in a suite, then opened up a salon, then went back into a suite, then opened up a salon again. Yeah. So, you know, I'm grateful for all that, but like now
You're constantly
starting over.
Hard work.
Now I feel like I'm finally at that point that this year is to balance it out, make sure my staff is happy, my kids are happy, and that's what I've been working on since January.
How old are your kids?
Hard. They're 12, 10, and 4. Yeah. So the 12 and 10s, the hands are full. Thank God my husband helps because I'm here every day. So like he works from home, so it makes life a little easier with the bus pickup. When he goes away, I'm literally a shit show. Like I'm literally like, I can only take one balayage today. I'm like, I can't take 2 clients. I can only take 1 because you know now colors. It's not a 1 hour color. You're there for 3 or 4 hours and you might run behind, but now I got to catch that bus. Yeah. So like we don't have a lot of help in that sense. Like we always done it ourselves. Yeah. So like the balance really is my husband. He balances me out with work. He allows me to do all this and then he takes care of the back end. Yeah. But I also don't cook. So he does the cooking. So that also helps a lot. Yeah. I buy the snacks. I go to ShopRite, get me the chips, this, that. I'm there for the ice cream. But like cooking a meal, last time I cooked a meal, apparently got everybody sick. So
do people that work full time really make it home every day to cook a meal? I know when I was little, I had food on the table every night. We sat down as a family. Is that even a thing anymore?
How often do you sit at the table with all your entire family?
On the weekend. When I'm off of work.
Maybe 1 day a week? Yeah. I think if we can make it to 2 days a week, I think we're winning here. Yeah. But a lot of times I either eat standing on the kitchen counter, and then the boys are there eating, and I'm cleaning and eating at the same time. That I have not been able to find that full balance yet.
I think that balance is just a word that we use to say that we want to find it, right? But like balance is never going to stay the same, and balance is never going to be consistent. Right. It's something that changes every day.
That's so true.
Because every day your schedule is going to be different. So the balance of your day is going to be different. So if you think that you found balance, the next day, shit's going to hit the fan. Something's going to happen that you didn't even have planned, and your balance is going to get totally thrown off. So I try to not even say it anymore because I'm like, you know what? Every time I think I found balance, something happens and I don't. So every day is just like, what time can I make it home to see my kids?
Right.
When I get home, am I going to clean my house up right away? Or am I going to spend time with them first, put them to bed?
What do you do? Do you clean first or do you spend time first?
I am like, my house being in an uproar doesn't work for me. Like, I need to come home to a clean household.
Me too.
I don't like things being all over the place. Yeah. Sometimes I have to force myself to sit and attend my family and be present and hang out with them and play with my kids. My son is 12, so he is like too cool right now for me, right?
But also too, finding the balance, having boy mom. Boy mom is so different than girl mom. I don't have a girl. Yeah. So like my boys right now, they want to play Xbox. And I'm like, I want nothing to do. If I could pick, I have 3 Xboxes in my house. If I could burn them, I would.
Yeah. I would. My son's stuck on video games.
I'm like, how was school, D? Good. What else do I talk to him? He's 12. He doesn't want to tell me anything. He's talking about video games and I don't care. Yeah. So I have to fake myself sometimes and be like, oh my God,
so into it. I know, because it's not our normal like interest.
Yeah, and then you have a daughter. She's 4. I have my daughter that's 4. And I see your videos all the time. You're constantly getting pedicures with her and your husband. Yeah, and I'm so jealous of that. I'm like, I put Denzel on my lap, but he's 4, but I'm like, he doesn't need a pedicure.
No, the boys don't want the pedicures. So she wants me to come home and she wants my full attention. Yeah. She gets like, mad if I'm on the phone and she doesn't have my full attention. Yeah. She like makes it a known thing. Yeah.
So it's easier for you to like, okay, I have to disconnect.
I have to, but like some days it's not. And so from opening up a business in the beginning, it was really hard because I knew that I wasn't going to be home that frequently. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to attend to my kids as much as I wanted to. Right. I knew I wasn't going to have a meal on the table every night. I might be ordering Uber Eats or, you know, whatever the case was, but my kids were getting fed. Right. And so I do meal prep too, so that helps a lot. But I knew that they weren't. But in my mind, if I tell myself I'm doing this for a bigger purpose, I'm doing this so my kids are set up for success when they're older, it makes me feel better because sometimes you have to go hard and sometimes things calm down.
I agree. You in have the beginning moments you have to go hard. Of the year that you're all over the place and you feel like you barely have that balance at home, but then sometimes you have that balance that you sometimes don't even know what to do with it.
And sometimes work is easy and everyone is kind of riding the wave and everything's going smooth. And that can go on for a month, 2 months and you're like, oh, this is nice. And then all of a sudden something shifts and now I'm at work more and I'm working later and I'm not home as frequently. So when that time comes, I really try to make sure that on the weekend, then on my day off, I'm home more. Or I'm not tending to the house as much. I'm kind of leaving it alone a little bit.
Do they ever, so my kids and my husband, they're constantly guilt tripping me on the phone. Like I'm always on the phone. Yeah. So like I've been at this, like I have worked something in my little mind that like when I can't even lie because they're going to be watching this and calling me out on it. So I have to be fully honest in this video.
Gotta tell the truth.
I gotta tell the truth. But I have to say like I'll probably say there's 2 days out of the week that I purposely leave my phone on my nightstand in my room so I can be downstairs and connect with them fully. Because if it's here and you're there, somebody from the salon
and naturally calls, you just
you're like, oh shoot, I forgot to like post this. Oh, I gotta reply to this client. Oh, I gotta do this because I love what I do. I can't. I'm having such a hard time disconnecting it. Yeah. Because I feel like I can't. The only time I really disconnect is like Sunday, because everything's closed.
So it's easy to disconnect because there's nothing going on.
Yeah, Saturday night, I know Peter, everybody, Marissa, they're all out and about. Nobody's gonna call me. Clients are not gonna call me. It's done. So Sunday I reset. But my Monday, I'm like
running around. And the kids are back in school.
Yeah.
I definitely think that in the beginning, especially like you said, so you're opening a suite, opening a salon, opening another salon. Now you're at your new salon. It's 7 months old, right? So it's still new.
We're setting everything all over again.
So the beginning, you're on your phone more. You're attending more to your staff. You're making sure that the culture is being built. You're making sure that you're setting the tone for everything. You're here, because if you're not here, then how do you know that culture is following through, right? I think it's very crucial the first couple of years of business to be present at the business and to be there and be the knowledge behind the chair and everything else. So yes, home life does get pushed a little bit, but as the salon is open longer, you are going to feel a sense of relief. Like, okay, you might even have somebody that's your right-hand person that you know can trust if you're not there, they're going to hold it down. It gets easier because that person wants that role. So now when you're not there, they have the ability to step up and actually prove themselves and how well they'll do without us trying to control, you know?
100%.
And I think that's a beautiful thing too, 100%. But of course it comes over time. So yes, like when I am at work more, I feel like even my son, he'll be like, I'm home and he's playing video games and doesn't want to hang out with me, but when I'm not home, he's like, well, when are you coming home? And why aren't you here?
And then when you get there, they're so busy. Because they also have that feeling. They're like, oh, she's going to be working anyways.
Yes. And then having the age difference.
So that's the mom guilt on my end. That's the mom guilt. And then my husband, he always says, okay, it's Denzel first, then it's Damien, then it's Drake, then it's the house, then it's the dogs, then it's me.
He's like, I'm last on the
list. So he does pushes, but you know what? I know he's doing it from a good heart. But like it sucks. Like sometimes
he's pushing you to do better.
But like I love my business and I love my people. Like I love making them grow and I love having a great week.
It's hard to disconnect from that.
And like being like, oh my God, so and so just had their best week and like I was there to see it. And like, you know, so and so is now becoming an educator. Oh my God, I'm right there. And I feel like I helped that person like get to that feeling. So I feel like hairstylists in the salon, like we're so big in energy. And like we said, like your energy is everything. So like keeping that momentum in your environment is important. So when you go home, you're tired, you have nothing else.
I know. And the thing is that it's so fulfilling for us to see that person winning and doing more, and we were a part of that journey for them. It even sometimes replaces being behind the chair. Like when you actually focus on your staff and watch them grow, it's such a fulfilling feeling, you know, that you want more of it and you want to keep doing it because this is your business, and this is what you're pouring your heart and soul out to. So when they celebrate, you want to celebrate with them. And then it's like, then we go home and it's the same thing. You want to be able to deliver that same energy, but sometimes you have none. Nothing left. And it is a difficult thing. Like,
do you find yourself? What is like one of the things that like you do for you? Like, what's your like hobby with your kids? Like, is it like going out to eat in nice places, driving a nice car, going on vacation to Florida? I follow her all the time on her stories, like keeping up. But like, what is it that like you're like get to chill? Like, what's your chill vibe with your kids when you're not in the salon?
So because we run around so much and we work a lot of the week and have time with our kids, but we work full time, so it's not as much time, and sometimes we're working on the weekend too. Booking vacations every couple months is really big for us.
So booking ahead of time.
Yep, because that's our way of disconnecting. Even though once in a while, obviously work doesn't stop and you still have to do some things while you're there. It still forces us to disconnect from actually going to work and being able to spend that quality time with our family. It's a big factor, and going out to dinner on the weekends is really big for us. We're big foodies, so we like to try new restaurants, and now my son loves all different types of food, so he finds restaurants on Instagram and sends stuff.
That's amazing.
What about you guys? What's your disconnect?
So the boys they're boys, so I don't have they are always like jumping, okay? So it has to be active things. So we actually own an RV. So we go camping, and we started out because we had 3 kids, 3 dogs. I'm like, how are we gonna fly, put 3 dogs here? It was just too much. So we have an RV, so we do camping grounds. And we have, usually yearly we go between 4 to 6 places, like in the area. Like everything's like I-95. We do Florida. We went as far as Key West with an RV, which I would never do it again. Absolutely horrible.
With 3 boys.
It was hot. The RV, it was so damn hot that the AC wouldn't even work. When you're like up to Miami to Key West, that bridge was like, it never ended.
Killer.
Never ended. So like never do that again. But like we do RV trips, and I think that's when we disconnect. That's when I can like leave my phone inside and go to like whatever the RV recreation has for us.
Yeah.
And then we ski in the winter. I'm not a skier. I'm just pretending. I like the lodge, but I do go down the mountain very slowly, doing like the pizza, and my legs hurt a lot. I'm so afraid to break something because if you break your arm, because if you break your arm, you can't balayage. No. You can definitely get away breaking your feet or something, but like your arms and your hands, I'm so scared of breaking anything. Like because I'm not gonna be able to do my clients.
It's a really good hobby to have though with the family.
Yeah, so we ski and then we do camping trips and we have a pool. So in the summertime we're like in our backyard. I love my house so much that like I make time to be home, you know,
and enjoy it
and enjoy the house because otherwise I live in my car.
Yeah,
because I
drive.
I'm 40 minutes away from my job, 45 minutes. So I technically have a little part-time job, just driving back and forth for the week. Yeah. So how about you? How often are you traveling to your salon locations? Are you in one, like, or do you hop around?
No,
how do you book yourself?
Right now, before I was hopping around to all different locations all week long, so I was in my car more than I was actually
doing hair
at the salon. Yeah. Like I felt like I wasted more time in the car, and I was like, I have to figure out something. This isn't working because me spending 2 hours in a location isn't doing anything for anybody. I can't even like get the ball rolling yet. Right. I've only just walked in, you know? Right. So what we started to do was let's split up the salons and you focus on these and I'll focus on these because they're used to having me and my husband there. They're used to having both of us. Okay. The ones that are doing more and have been open longer, like my husband will go to and he's really good at that. The ones that are new, that's where I primarily am right now because I'm setting the culture and the tone. I'm behind the chair. I'm taking clients. I'm helping them grow because they still need to grow. Yeah. So that's kind of how we split it up, and it's been working because I haven't been spending more time in the car. Okay. I've been spending more time in the salon. Right. Luckily, I live really close to most of my locations, but my longest distance is probably like 30 minutes with traffic. Okay. So similar, but. You know, and yes, I would love to spend more time at home, but I also know that like sometimes it's just not realistic and, you know, having those vacations, like you said, and having that time together with the family. And what's the one thing that you learn when you step away from your salon and everything's
going to be okay.
Like the place isn't going to burn down.
Everything's okay. Like I feel like having
think it's worse.
Having a good team.
Yeah.
And I feel like right now we have such a special small group and that's when it comes down to our next when we do our next episode of hiring, how to fire a bed stylist or you know, that's gonna be part of our next episode. But I find that having that special connection, like yes, it's still in a business, like as an owner and an employee vibe, but like knowing that you can count on everyone for different things. Like you have that one girl that will make sure the lights are off. Yeah, and then you have that one. Everything is unplugged, and then you have someone else that will make sure that the money's great. Like there's always someone to help. It's gonna be okay.
But it's a team effort.
It's a team effort. Yeah. And the culture that I'm building right now for the salon is we don't have a front desk people because I don't believe in it right now.
We don't have a front desk.
And you just told me that you don't have a front desk, and you're running all your salons.
We never did.
So I came from a salon that we ended up giving 40 hours to a manager that I have to say. So many things to say about that, but like
that's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole other podcast. But like, it just wasn't worth it.
No,
it just wasn't worth it. In the end of the day, if you're an owner, you should be an owner. And there's an owner that's present, and there's the owner that it's not present. Yeah. My business, I want to be present.
Same.
I'm not just putting a name on the street and say I own this. Yeah. And here's my social media and this. That's not who I am. I'm like, guys, let's grow together. I want to be invited to your weddings. I want to like be part of your team.
I want to know what's going on in your life.
I want to be I
don't want to just be your boss.
Yeah,
you know,
I agree. But with the balance, but you have to find the balance.
But if I don't know what's going on in your life, then I don't know what your goals are. Then if I'm trying to help you grow, but I don't know what your goals are, how am I pushing you to do anything? What am I pushing you to do?
100%.
Like I need to know what your goal is so we can grow there together.
100%. And I feel like with the kids, like not to get off the topic, the boys have seen so much. And like my 12-year-old really is like a teenager now.
Yeah.
And my 10-year-old, so they're like, oh, again. Like, or it's like they're so over. So like when we built the salon last summer, and I found like I'm always finding a new business in the summertime that this is happening. We haven't had a summer in like 2 years.
So this year
we're going to have a summer.
You need a summer.
It's part of like me making sure that it's going to happen.
This is the mom life, right? This is the balance. This is what balance. We need. And like going back to talking about like having dinner on the table, right?
Right.
This generation is about working hard.
Right.
Like what we're doing in society and everything, we need to hustle.
Right.
It's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
It's not like when we were younger, how many years ago, where our moms did have
food
on the table every day. I'm going to tell you, my mom didn't even really work, or sometimes she worked, sometimes she was a stay-at-home mom, didn't really need to work. The one parent having an income was okay.
Wait, so was your mom a stay-at-home mom?
She was for a while.
Yeah. My mom came, thankfully, like, came from my dad was, like, they grew, and then my dad was very wealthy in Brazil. So she had a brand new car every year. She had a weekend house. She had this house. So when she came here, it was a culture shock for her. And she didn't want me to work at 17. She's like, no, go to college. You don't need to work. So I came from that old, like, stay-home mom vibe. And my husband's like, if you're going to be with me, go get a job. Like, because he always learned to work.
Doesn't it show you exactly what you don't want to do?
Yes,
like, it's cool that
100%.
they did that, but it made me who I am because I realized
absolutely.
My personality, and I know yours is too, just based off of this podcast alone, is very go, 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 and not sit still. And then when you sit down, you literally crash and melt into your chair.
Yes, and then like, you're done. You have nothing else left.
My personality is not stay-at-home mom.
I would
lose my
mind.
And
listen, props to those, because I feel like that is harder.
If you're built for that,
it's harder because I feel like you don't have the disconnection. When I was on maternity leave, I was wiping, not that I don't wipe my counters 100 times now, but I was wiping it double. Because I just have so much inside that I just have to like get out. Yeah. So with the kids, like, they know we're running a crazy life, but like I feel like, especially my older one now, he wants nice things. And he, you know, I tell him, like, one day we're going to own a plane. Like, we're going to do this and this and that, you know? And, like, I want them to have big visions. And I feel like growing up with my mom balance is like my dad had the big vision. My mom was there to support us. And I find that we can't raise kids like that anymore. It's hard. It's hard, especially for my family, you know? So
think about how our kids are going to be when they get older. Like, this is
the
other
society,
part of mom life.
It's not even like what we have to raise them and adjust them to what the society is like now. So I feel like it's going to be so different.
Our hustle, and they're going to be able to do the same thing. Because they see mom, dad, everyone do it. Like we said earlier in the different podcasts, like, you have to grow together, you and your husband. Now that you're doing it, your kids see it and they're gonna follow in the same footsteps. My son literally talks about what his job is gonna be like today.
Oh my God, wait.
He's like, I wanna wash cars.
Hold on, my Damien wants, I'm pushing him to do real estate. Because I know he's not a college kid. I already know. Don't tell him, but I said,
don't go to college. Do a trade.
Don't waste
money.
So he's trying to get into the Voltec because now he has to start doing little things. And I'm like, pushing him. I was like, I'll buy your first real estate with you when you turn 18 and you pass your test. So he's kind of looking forward to that already. And then I have Drake, which is my middle son, still doesn't know. He's thinking about girlfriends right now, and he's 10.
That's all he cares about.
And I'm like, the 12 doesn't talk about it, but the 10 does. And then the 4-year-old, who knows, is going to have everything laid out to him.
Like, I can do this or this based off of my brothers.
And I'm like, and I can live here for free, there for free, and there for free, because he's so young compared to all of us. He's like, 6 years younger.
I think the most important thing is, with mom life, it's like, there's never a right time first to have a kid. There's never a right time.
Never.
But you have to figure out, okay, my job still has to go on. What am I doing to set myself up for that? Do I have money saved? When am I going back to work? How am I transitioning? When I get back to work, what is my kid doing? And then from there, it's like, what am I doing when I work? Now, who's taking care of my kids? Who's picking them up from the bus stop? Am I going to be home certain days? Like, knowing a somewhat of a game plan, even though balance changes, you have to have a game plan.
I feel like when I'm at work. Like, the kids, like, I called. It's like, I have, like, finally my work schedule changed that I'm doing 3 morning shifts, and then one night. Yeah. I used to work from 1 p.m. to 10:30 at night. I didn't put my kids to bed for like years, okay, because I was trying to get through the beauty industry. Yeah. It's crazy how much I pushed myself and how much I lost with the boys, but it's okay because down the road we're gonna be like set up well. Yeah. I don't feel bad for the things I missed. I don't want to feel bad for the things they might miss. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So that's 100%. Where I am now with that. But so they're like, so you said you're like always picking your kids up and you're trying to find that work balance at home. Do you have help? Do you have your parents? Do you have a nanny? Do you believe in help at home?
I would love to have a nanny.
Okay. Me too.
Or an au pair. Either one.
Can you live with me?
just to have a little help. But my mother-in-law does stay with us, and she helps a lot with the kids. My son is old enough that we don't have to pick him up off the bus stop, but when we did, my mother-in-law was there to get him. My daughter is in daycare, so somebody just has to pick her up by 6:30 the latest. Okay. I usually pick her up by 5 o'clock. Yeah. I do try
because
to
you get the mom guilt. You get the mom guilt after 5:30. I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
And I'm like, I don't want her there. It's such a long day. Yeah. But there is like 2-3 days a week where I work later, and there's 2-3 days a week where I get out a little bit earlier. So if I pick her up later some days and I pick her up early, there's balance. Exactly, you know, she's not always there late. And I look at how many kids are there late, and I'm like, okay. Yeah. I can't feel that bad. Right. But would I love to? Yes. I feel like I would love to have somebody like that, or a babysitter or anything, just to have them go to their activities and be able to sign them up for more activities, knowing that I have somebody to take them. Yeah. Right now, my son is old enough where he could ride his bike, and he will ride his bike to basketball, tennis,
oh my God, that's
the
amazing.
Gym. Yeah, and he loves it. Yeah. And we're in Montclair, so everything's pretty close by.
We're in Sussex
County.
All
his friends do it. And
our bus stop is 2 miles away from our house, so there was no riding bikes to get anywhere.
2 miles? That's a long bike ride.
There was a time that my husband literally forgot to pick him up because it was like a half a day, and he walked 2 miles home, and I'm like, you could have been eaten by a bear, a stranger van could have picked you up. I was at work. I couldn't do anything. I was working in Madison at that time. What am I gonna do? Yeah, just freaked out on my husband. That's all I did. I'm like, poor kid.
I guess the moral of all of this and with mom life is to know that it's
not perfect. Nothing's perfect, and I feel like that social media might be so perfect, like we're posting our like clients and our family weekends and like our dinners, but like just to get to that dinner at the table, like at that Sunday dinner that we post, we're like, it took like an hour to just get everybody to sit down without a meltdown. So we don't have the perfect lives at all. Like, and I feel like this is the place that I want to be able to share what's not perfect, because we're all just living and to better ourselves.
And honestly, it's actually a positive thing, because it's not supposed to be perfect, and balance is supposed to always change.
Yeah, I love that. Balance is always supposed to change. I never looked at the word balance like that ever.
I had to start looking at it differently because I was getting mom guilt. Yeah. And I was like sometimes stressing myself out. And then when I really sat down and thought about it, I realized like, oh my God, every day is different. Yeah. I just have to have some type of balance for the day.
For the day. You got to go by the day. I love
keep
that.
It simple.
Love that.
Guys, keep it simple. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to episode 3, and we will see you for episode 4.